Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again, and today I want to talk about a very serious subject, and that is why eating healthy is stupid. Yeah, I know, it's a pretty bold statement to make. I'll probably get flamed, but please hear me out. So if you look at the title itself, I put in eating healthy in quotation marks, and that's because this video goes out to those individuals out there who choose to label either individual food items or individual meals as healthy or unhealthy. Or maybe they use terms like clean or dirty, good or bad, eat this, not that. And doing so, in my opinion, is quite frankly stupid. So I think the title is actually quite fitting. And the reason I think it's so stupid is because these people are failing to neglect the context of the total diet. Now, it's kind of disappointing to me that I have to make this video and I have to be so blunt, but quite honestly, it's 2014. I've been putting out videos for 5 years now, and I'd like to think at some point they have been a little bit educational and you guys might have learned something, but some people still out there still have trouble. So not only am I putting out videos in this vein, but also many other of your favorite YouTubers have put out great similar content regarding this kind of information. And that is, again, looking at individual food items or meals without the context of total diet is stupid. And the reason I say this is because oftentimes when I put out these videos of mine of my full day of eating, or if you ask Van Bra, he might tell you I only put out half day of eating videos, grocery pickups, meal examples, whatever, I still get a lot of the same comments. And those are things like, why are you eating unhealthy? Why are you promoting junk food? This is a dirty meal, has too much sodium, has too much sugar, artificial sweeteners, GMOs, all sorts of things. And that's only on the few nutrition videos that I put out. I can only feel for someone like Michael Corey, who's a good friend of mine who I talk to on quite a frequent basis, who puts out mostly food-related videos. I actually have quite a fun time reading through some of his comments and looking how idiotic some of these things actually are on there. So I always get a good laugh and typically tend to troll him back on those. But I digress a little bit. So my big issue with this is, let's take, for example, your average person. And this average person is in the vein that, again, watches YouTube videos, is interested in health and fitness. So more than likely they track their calories and more than likely they track their macros. Now, tracking calories is a great way, obviously, to manipulate weight if you want to gain, lose, or maintain. Tracking macros is a good way to ensure body composition. And I'd probably be doing a disservice if I didn't mention at least micronutrients. But chances are, if you're eating a variety of foods in your diet, you're hitting all your micronutrients, with maybe the exception of vitamin D or K or magnesium. But I'm not going to focus on that too much right here. So let's say this individual that we're looking at also predominantly likes to eat what most would call clean. And again, the reason I keep using these quotation marks is because I don't think it's a good idea to label things as such. But let's say we're looking at their intake, and for proteins, they like a lot of lean meats. For carbohydrates, they like a lot of complex carbs, so like brown rice and sweet potatoes. And for fats, they generally like healthy fats, so avocados, nuts, peanut butter, tuna fish, things of that nature. And 95% of their diet is consistent of those foods I just mentioned. Of course, a lot of vegetables as well. But as part of their diet, they're able to work in one singular Pop-Tart. And Pop-Tarts, for the most part, 200 calories, probably about 30 to 40 grams of carbs, mostly from sugar. Most people would say that's unhealthy. Now, let's say that individual chooses to upload a video to YouTube about their pre-workout ritual, which happens to be eating one Pop-Tart in their car before going to train. Now, some people would look at this video and say, that's unhealthy, that's dirty, why do you do that to your body? But again, if you were to look at the context of their complete total diet, you would see that not only is it very clean, but generally it's overall healthy, and there's nothing really wrong with that, as they're hitting their calorie intake, they're hitting their macros, and they're able to hit their micros because, again, they're taking in a wide variety of food in their diet. So this is why I really think labeling such is pretty idiotic, moronic, or, as the title says, stupid. So before you do this and before you jump to conclusions, don't really rely on these individual food items or meals unless you take in the context completely of their diet. Now, if for every meal they're eating McDonald's and they're exceeding their caloric intake and they're exceeding some macros while severely undercutting some, especially the essential ones like proteins and fats, then you might make a claim for what's healthy or unhealthy or clean versus dirty. But then that opens up a whole new can of worms in what really does healthy mean? Because again, that definition can vary depending on who you ask. So please, again, eating healthy versus unhealthy, just kind of think before you open your mouth. I know it's hard sometimes, and I hate to come down on you and be condescending, but I really think it's an important concept to grasp. As always, appreciate you guys watching, and in the meantime, stay big.